In this video tutorial, I'll take you through the process of creating your own on-chain, blockchain-powered governance voting platform, combining CardanoPress with WordPress. So you can fire up a WordPress-powered website, which is so easy, quick and easy to do. Install CardanoPress and then install the governance plugin on it, and then you'll be able to have a mini portal where you can get your users, your community itself to come on, vote for proposals or even submit proposals and have that full on-chain governance voting mechanism all ready to go. Let's get into it. So this is the plugin here. This is CardanoPress Governance for Cardano. You can get to it on wordpress.org in the plugin directory. Just type in CardanoPress and you'll be able to find all of our plugins that are all around the Cardano ecosystem and integrating WordPress with Cardano. Now, you can also get to all the documentation for this video tutorial on our website at CardanoPress.io. Go to the docs and you can find step-by-step guides with screenshots, and you can go through and follow that if you find that easier than going through a video. But this is what you're going to get at the end of it. So this is our own governance portal on the Learn Cardano website itself. You can see project governance, and we have various proposals, current proposals through the system. This is an example one that we have here that will always be enabled so people can actually see how it all works. But a user can go here, click on the vote button, and our ecosystem is powered by the CardanoPress WAPU. So we've got this little WAPU series here that will allow users to jump onto the website and vote with how many WAPU NFTs they have. So you can apply this logic not only to NFTs, but also to fungible tokens as well. So whatever token that has a policy ID within the Cardano ecosystem, you can configure that in the back end of CardanoPress and take advantage of that for voting power within the CardanoPress governance plugin. You can see here, this is an example on-chain vote that I did a little bit earlier, and you can click on that and actually see when the vote was casted. Now, when you logged out of the website, this is what you see. You see the CardanoPress WAPU, a little bit of information about what the WAPU is and how it actually works within the ecosystem. And you can see it will prompt you also to connect your wallet, so you can have the wallet scanned, and it will see exactly how many WAPU NFTs you have and then calculate that voting power for you so you can make a vote within the ecosystem. So really simple mechanism that we have going on there, and you can see how it all works and how you could possibly benefit from setting something up like this. So now let's break it down and go through the installation process and the configurations so that you guys know exactly how to get this all up and working. So this is our test WordPress website. If you're new to WordPress itself, there are plenty of tutorials out there to take you through the initial steps of installing WordPress. We like our WordPress instances fairly clean and minimal, so we don't install too many plugins. There's one page builder that we do use quite often, and that is Elementor. So that is our page builder of choice if you do want to go down that path. Now, anyway, let's get into the installation process. So here I'll hover over plugins and click on install plugins, and then click on add new. And here you'll be able to search for all the plugins that you need. Now, if you don't have the core CardanoPress plugin already installed, you will need to have this one installed. It's the one that manages all the API keys and talks to Blockfrost, the API layer to talk to the Cardano blockchain. So you do need that installed. But this is the governance one that we want here. So I'm going to click on install and then activate that plugin. There we go. So that's all ready to go. Now, the next bit that you need to look into is the CardanoPress settings itself. So these are the settings where you can define policy IDs, your Blockfrost API key, and everything else around it. So your Blockfrost API key is in the top right-hand corner here. And then the other thing that you need to configure is the policy IDs that you'll be using throughout the site for voting power. So if you're using ADA as your voting power within your ecosystem, that's totally fine. You don't need to set anything else up. But if you're wanting to use a particular NFT project that you've created or you're the owner of, you will need to set up the labels here and then the particular policy ID of that collection. Now, one way to get that policy ID is from the NFT minting platform that you're using. So if you're using NMaker, Satin NFT, Anvil, whatever it is, they can provide you with that policy ID, and it's a unique identifier for your collection. So I'll just pull up my address here and I'll pull up the CardanoPress WAPU WAPUs here, and I'll just click on that one. And in the top left here, it has this little policy link. I can click on that, and that will give me the policy ID. So now this is Paul PM viewing all of the NFTs that are under this particular policy ID. You can see there's quite a few there. So I'm just going to copy that and then paste that into the config area for policy ID. So I'll paste that there. I'll change this label to WAPUs. And there we go. That's all I need to do. Now, if I want to add in more, I can. I just click on add field and I can add in another policy ID and another collection name and so on. So I can add in as many as I like. But of course, the more you add in, the slower the site will get, and the more it will cost you for your Blockfrost API key. So I'll just leave it as that. I'll have that one WAPU and I'll press save in the top right hand corner there. Now that my global settings are all set, I'm happy with that. I can go to proposals, settings, and change the settings here for the governance side of things. Now here I have a title and a content area, and this is the default content that you see when you land on the landing page, the archive page for the governance portal. So for now, I'll leave that text as that, but the global config down here, I will need to change. So the discussion link here, this is where your proposals will be talked about. So you may install a discussion forum. You may want to discuss this on a Twitter thread, or you may want to discuss it within your Discord server. So whatever that is, you can paste in the link there. That could be a Discord invite into a particular channel for discussion of proposals, and the users will go there as default to start talking about all the proposals within your ecosystem. So it's a nice quick way to direct people to the right area where they can discuss this before they perform a vote. The next thing here is to set the policy ID. And this is the policy ID that you set a little bit earlier. And here you can see from the drop down, I have my WAPUs. So it's very important to have that set. So now you have a global policy ID that will be used as a voting power within your platform. Now, the next thing here is I want to select number of tokens by policy ID. So that would be my voting power. And I can also choose the amount of ADA. Now, if I don't choose any of those options, it's a one wallet, one vote process. So it can do multiple different configurations depending on what you want for your ecosystem. So in this case, I'm going to click on number of tokens by policy ID, and that will give the user a particular voting power. So let's hit save. And now all of my configuration is done for the site. Now I can go ahead and start adding proposals. So now that I'm ready to add a proposal, I'll hover over add new proposal, click on that. And here I can give the proposal a title, a description, and also a short description, an excerpt. So I'll just type in test here for now. That looks good. Now, the important things down here is the proposal settings. Now, this very first one here is an identifier. Now, this is a unique number that needs to be added in. This can go up to 9,999, but you do need to make sure that is completely unique to any other proposal within your system. Otherwise, the votes will be mashed up between the two. So here, I'm just going to start it at 100 for this particular identifier. Now, the next bit here is the snapshot date. So just like in Project Catalyst, there's a particular time and date when the blockchain is scanned and that voting power is captured. The platform here does that as well. So depending on the time and date that you want, you can talk to your community and tell them by this particular date at midnight, the voting power will be snapshotted. So you do have to make sure all your NFTs are off marketplaces, or you've collected as many as possible that you want. So before that date, so that you have the maximum amount of voting power. So that's the idea of that. The next thing here is you can change the global configuration here. So the global configuration we saw before when we added in was with the WAPUs and the number of tokens. Now I can override that for any of these proposals. So this might be a very special proposal that I need something else, and I'm going to go for the amount of ADA instead of the number of policy tokens within that policy ID. So in this case, I'm just going to leave it as the global config, but you can see here, you can change it granularly per proposal, very flexible. So I'll click on a global config. I'll just use that. Now the next bit here is the actual value or the options for each one of these proposals. Again, the value needs to be unique, but then your labels can be whatever you want. So I'm just going to go 1, 2, no, And the last one here, I'll put a 3 with a maybe. And that will give the user multiple choices in regards to this proposal. Now, like I said, just a reminder, the unique identifier has to be unique amongst each proposal. The values or the options down here need to be unique inside of that proposal. So if you got option 1 here, option 2, option 3, you can have those same options in a different proposal. It's as long as they don't clash here and they don't, and this particular number up here, the ID doesn't clash between another proposal. They're the important things. Now on the right hand side here, I can also set access levels to these proposals. So if I have a particular group that can only see this proposal, I can set that particular access up as well. But in this case, I'm not going to do anything there. I'm just going to hit publish. And we are ready to go. So that's it. So I'm going to click on the permalink here and have a look at this particular proposal and see what it looks like. There we go. Okay, so it's gotten my site styling. It's not the best styling on this site. It is a demo site, but you can see the test there. It's open for voting, doesn't have a close date, and there's the snapshot date for the voting power itself and the little bit of text I had before. And all I need to do now is connect my wallet and I'll be able to vote on this one. So you can see it's really quick and easy to set up a governance-powered website on Cardano with WordPress and CardanoPress. Just within a few steps and a little bit of configuration, you're up and running and ready to go. And you can start accepting votes from the community and have your on-chain governance all ready to go. Now, this doesn't tie into smart contracts to release treasury funds, but we are looking into that, and that may very well be the next steps for the project. And we can start integrating DAOs and everything else around it. But this is a really, really good first step for a lot of projects out there. It's a cost-effective solution and really quick and easy to get up and running. If you liked this video tutorial, if you want to find out more about CardanoPress, please give me that thumbs up, click subscribe, click the notification, check out the CardanoPress.io website where you can learn a little bit more about how and what CardanoPress can do for your project that's building on Cardano. I'll see you in the next video.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast. Gotta get it hype. Crypto is what we like, but this is not investment or financial advice. Gotta do your research, cause it's risky. We know it is. This show is educational and it's informative. Crypto's the future, really, it ain't no debate.